Doors swing both ways, but will latch on their frame. April 25th, 2025. One of the arguments I posit here is that whatever we set loose theologically in the church will also run wild theologically in the church. That you cannot permit an action or a process without knowledge of what that kind of action or process can do. I mean, you can, but it's a bad idea, that's all. Because it's not going to do what it's supposed to do, it's going to do what it does. And it's one thing to write about the question and issues of single folk in the pew. It's another to suggest that men and women with working genitals are somehow not intended for the being fruitful and multiplying, on the basis that Jesus has work for them to do in the church. The problem with that being the current evangelical argument for singleness is manifold, but we'll try to keep it on the rails of theology and tech in this piece. Jesus gave the command to be fruitful and multiply back in Jesus 1:28, if we're being Trinitarian. So, it seems weird that we wouldn't apply that commandment to everyone until they demonstrate other callings from God in their lives. But to the lost, all things are lost, and to the blind, any leader's vision is indistinguishable from their own. A blind person cannot tell another blind person that the sky is blue, or a blind person can tell another blind person that the sky is blue all the livelong day. And neither will know that they are right because they don't know what blue is. So as technology progresses and the church becomes ensnared by its enshrinement inside the sanctuary, we really do need to start looking at the secondary consequences of opening the door to strangers and strange things. Our congregants practice a societal orthodoxy by the means of their smartphones. Find me one church member that isn't tethered to a smartphone, or at least knows the length of that tether. And I would argue that is the tech in our lives that makes us strange and makes us strangers to each other in ways that normally would end with vows being said. Strangers like singleness, even if they don't know they like it. Their decisions and preferences will track with an objective view of strangeness and singleness. The rampant socially destructive singleness that we are witnessing today is not a gift from the Almighty to do ministry better with. It is a curse brought about by the possession of idols where idols should not be mingled with. A little black rectangle of glass and microchips you're likely reading this on are the cause of a lot of the supposed gift of singleness that is currently plagues the church and lowers the birth rate. When the door of singleness as an ideal was opened, it inadvertently let the cold air of exceptionalism in. You no longer had to deal with yourself as a desirable person, in abstract. You could just accept the gift in abstract, and bonus victim status that comes along with it. You didn't have to fix the things that could make you single, like your hygiene or your physical fitness, much less the things that made you more single, like the lack of social skills in a life, or a life that's perpetually in the perpetual comment section of a subreddit or tend to foster. And it wasn't just Reddit either. Tumblr, Discord, name your social hub du jour, all places, and I use the term loosely, that allow for individuals to congregate with people just like themselves, clique together so much dysfunctional Lego figurines. Once bolstered by the appearance of social norms online, these not normal individuals stopped interacting with anything that acted normal outside those online communities. Outside the internet that binds them together, a single white male with a brony obsession would be a hard sell to any prospective life partner. But online, there's no need for other people to coexist with. Everyone becomes a set of search terms and content because that's all you can be in a digital world, and the content gets consumed. A single gardener is just their Instagram pictures and Pinterest board of horticulture. A single mechanic is just an unaffordable supercar subreddits and reruns of Top Gear. And just like other types of porn, the horny are just porn addicts willing to call a spade and drop trow. What no one seems to get there is there's no dividing line between car porn and real porn, between gardening porn and real porn, between TV show obsession and sexual obsession. Online, if it's socially driven media, it's all porn. In every way and any way porn can be defined, which is a problem if you want to square how good actual porn addicts are at relationships with the other sex, because it's all actual porn. Tech isn't the cause here, the way a dying tree isn't the cause of a forest fire, but it could very well be the fuel. And we can either deal with the cause of the forest fire, which is statistically a left-wing radical and not climate change, or we can deal with the contributing factors of the forest fire. Both would be nice, but let's not kid ourselves about the ability of the clergy in this realm. Theology porn is a thing too, and if you don't know that, ask yourself why there always seems to be massive libraries of theological books for sale on Facebook Marketplace. I thought a big case of books made you a better pastor, or was that credibility library just as masturbatory? If singleness is a problem in the church and not a blessing in disguise, then the church needs to address it as such and avoid the peep show theology that's currently on display, which is also a side effect of the terminally online. It needs to offer solutions to the problem as such. If a pastor notes a large number of portly young men in his pews, what does he need? What he doesn't need to foster is a more intensive regimen of fast food and video games that all but likely got him his chubby flock of soon-to-be geldings. But if he ditches the youth-centered tactics for small group engagement and its budget for bad food, and builds a gym for his boys instead, what he fosters is at the very least a contributing factor for a more attractive set of young Christian men. And all he had to do that was rob them of a gift called singleness and give them a gym. Give them a gym. That gym will not be a guarantee of a future wife, but using it will be a step in the right direction of being attractive to a wife in the future. Now we have a possible, if not probable, solution. We don't know if it'll work, but at least we've addressed the problem head on this time. Instead of saying that a bad thing is a good thing if we just use the Bible the wrong way right enough. Pastors need to be brave enough to separate the righteous living demanded of their preaching and to their congregants from the social norms that contribute to unrighteous things, like singleness fueled by selfishness, to be in the world, but not of it. And it starts by acknowledging that normative tech habits in the church may in fact be abnormal for humans, with a latent commandment to make more humans. And God blessed them, and God said unto them, Be fruitful, and multiply, and replenish the earth, and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over every living thing that moveth upon the earth. Genesis 1:28, King James Version.